This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
A lot of firms out there say they will do tax planning, say they will do Social Security planning and RMD planning, and typically they just do investment management. They want your money.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Where do you stand today with your retirement accounts, with your insurance, with Social Security, RMDs, taxes, all of it? This is how we need to think. We need to think outside of the box on these matters.
Abe is here to help you unlock the keys to your retirement.
I always get nervous asking people this question because as a professional procrastinator, I'm here to also support. How last minute are you on your holiday shopping? How are we doing so far?
I haven't started.
Excellent. Me either. I was sitting there thinking to myself, I literally don't have a single gift.
Yeah, that's what makes me get into the holiday spirit is not, the whole buying Christmas presents around Thanksgiving, like this, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. No,
it's not for
you. Me. Not for me. Nope.
No, it is for me in a sense of I went shopping for myself on Black Friday and Cyber.
Okay, there you go.
I needed a new laptop. I got a great deal. What can I tell you?
I kind of do it just in enough time to get myself nervous and probably get Shelly nervous as well about either getting presents for Christmas on Christmas Day or having to wait and say, Shelly, they're still in the mail, and she does not like that.
Right.
So I've learned my lesson. And now we've done really good jobs with the gift wrapping and up my skills a little bit. And yeah. That's important.
Season.
It's important, guys.
FYI, side note, we're doing a financial conversation and counseling, but also a little marital insight as well.
Brownie points. Hey, go a long ways.
From Mr. Abe Abish. Well, the thing about the holidays is that you always know you've got next year to do it better again. The thing about our retirement is, at least for most of us, I would say all of us, only plan on doing it once. We get like that one shot to do it and to do it right. So thinking positively, having that proper plan in place, we call this show the Retirement Key with a lot of intention. You've got to have that key plan in place to help you get to your goals. Despite what we keep seeing happening in the market. Now, there has been some lift in the stock market lately, Abe. But something that we have been talking about in the past few weeks is how bear market rallies, which is what we've been experiencing, they are common, and we probably shouldn't get ourselves too excited. Liz Young from Sophie was telling CNBC that she sees only one more drop.
Well, if we look at the amount that we've risen over the last month and a half or so, we're up 10% since the end of September. That's a pretty big jump. And look, bear market rallies can be really powerful. I think that if this turns out to be one, this is no exception. If we do have another pullback in the market, I think it's the last one.
So she believes the market's reflecting 6 months beyond the data that we're seeing. The question for you is, should we take all of this with a grain of salt? How do you plan with all of these different opinions?
Yeah, Heather, the markets are always forward-looking, but
right.
Tons of opinions. We're either in a recession or we're not, and we kind of believe we are just based on what the definition of a recession is. 2 negative quarters of GDP, which is what we saw the first 2 quarters of 2022. So we've kind of felt like we're in a recession, and if we're not, geez, it's
sure
probably going to get worse. That's what a lot of economists are predicting, April to September of 2023. And so we need a plan.
Yep.
We need a plan. In good times and bad, we need a plan to rely on because there's a ton we can't control. And you can let the governments and the economy and this potential recession that we are or not in, really damage your retirement potentially, or we can try to control as much as we can by having a plan, by focusing on our own personal financial and retirement plan. And so that's always best.
Right.
Tune out the noise. There's tons of opinions, and you know where you are in life. You know how much money you saved. If you don't know how much risk you're taking on your investments, if you don't know how much you're paying in fees and all these things that you need to know, so you need to know whether to change course or not, right? Stay on the same course, redirect. If you're approaching retirement, you're 5 years or less away, or you're already in retirement, more than likely, based on everybody we see, you've got to pull back the risk some, right? Stop investing like you're 40, 45, 50. More than likely, you've won the game. So we just had a couple call into the show. They're fully retired. They live in Florida, but they still listen to WMAL through the app. And they used to live in Montgomery County, Maryland. still listen to WMAL and fully retired, living the good life down in sunny, warm Florida. $2 million saved. They're in their late 70s.
Okay.
They're a 5 on our risk scale. So just middle of the road investors. You know, a lot of people, a lot of clients of ours are. They're typically a 4, 5, 6, 7, middle of the road. Not too hot, not too cold. They know they've saved enough. So why take on any extra risk that's going to make them uncomfortable, right? They know that's not prudent. But when we dug into this couple's investments, we found out not only that are they at 3 different big box firms, so they're getting 3 different opinions. We just talked about noise, right? A lot of opinions and noise. And so they're like, this guy's saying this firm over here is saying this, and this firm over here we don't even hear from. Right? So they're like, well, number one, I think it's time to consolidate now. We'd like to work with one firm who can help us not only with the investments, but they're not also getting advice on tax planning. And they're concerned with taxes, the tax code changing likely in a few years, and them trying to find ways to lower and mitigate tax on their pre-tax dollars. Because as with most Americans, most of their dollars are in 401ks and IRAs and have never been taxed.
Right.
So as we dug into their investments, we found out those things. We also found out that they're invested like an 8 or a 9, still like a 40 to 45-year-old. This couple's in their late 70s. They've won the game, more than enough money to go around to live a fantastic retirement on their own and pass on a substantial amount of money. Concerned with taxes, RMDs, they're in full distribution mode, the risks they're taking on, and the current market situation.
Yeah.
So after we ran the analysis and put together a plan for them, we immediately recommended pulling back the risk down to a 5, or like having a 50-50 split between growth and safety, between risk and safety.
Okay.
We recommended de-risking the stock side by about 30%. That'll help them to reduce sequence risk, which is that double negative risk that people can incur when they're pulling money out of the portfolios and the markets are down at the same time. If you're listening right now, you're working with a couple firms, maybe you're working with a firm, and you just haven't heard from your advisor in the last year. Believe it or not, we have acquired several clients this year from big box firms who have had several $1 million with other firms, and they haven't heard from their advisor in the last 12 months. Absolutely unacceptable. If you're listening right now, you'd like a portfolio x-ray, a second opinion and analysis on your investment plan to find out exactly how much risk you're taking, how much you're paying in fees, how to potentially lower and mitigate taxes as much as possible on your retirement dollars. And if you're 55 years old or older and you've saved $500,000 or more for your retirement, we want to offer you that same portfolio x-ray and analysis complimentary.
So market risk, something that we all have to deal with and manage, but something that we didn't realize was going to be so complicated when we got to our retirement is Social Security. It's supposed to be there for added security. And yet, Abe, the new year is bringing changes for new retirees. Social Security is already confusing enough, though, as I was just saying, for so many of us. So what are these changes we can expect in the new year? What does it all mean? How can you help us figure out this puzzle?
Yeah, so several things, Heather, will change in 2023 in regards to Social Security. The first thing is the maximum taxable earnings limit will increase. It typically goes up each year to account for wage inflation. For instance, up to $147,000 of income is subject to Social Security payroll tax in 2022. That figure is going up by 9% to $160,200 in 2023 because inflation is at a 40-year high. And then the maximum Social Security benefit will be bigger. So typically what we see, and this is to help adjust for inflation again, typically what we see at age 62 is the highest benefit we'll see is maybe around $2,500 at full retirement age. For most people, 66-ish. The biggest benefit we see is usually around $3,500 maybe. And then at 70, if someone waits till 70 to take Social Security, the largest benefit we might see might be $4,000, $4,200, $4,500, kind of in that range. So those benefits are all increasing. And then the retirement earnings limit will be higher as well. In 2023, the lower limit is $21,240 and the higher limit is $56,250. They're increasing by a little bit again to hedge for inflation. So those are all good things. But when it comes to Social Security, there are tons of ways to file and claim, lots of ways to maximize benefits. And so we had a couple just call into the show. They have all of their money with one big box firm. If I said the name, everybody would know who they are. Nothing wrong with the firm, but just in general, again, the way we are different than most big box firms, than our industry as a whole, is that our industry focuses for the most part on helping people to save and accumulate and make money. Okay, you might be thinking, well, what's wrong with that? Right? Well, there's nothing wrong with that. But then you get to 58, 62, 68, 70, and you're saying, well, I did a good job the last 30 to 40 years. I have made money, saved money, accumulated money. And now, Abe, I've got $2 million. I need help. Because now I'm going to my investment guy at this big box firm. We're asking them, when should we take Social Security? How do we lower our tax bill? How do we lower risk? How do we generate income from this big bucket of money? We knew how to grow it. We don't know how to turn it into income so we can enjoy it for the rest of our lives, right?
Yeah,
if you're just focused on rate of return and growing it, you're not focused on the whole back end part of your retirement, which is where you're going to live the next 30 to 40 years of your life as well. So we had a couple call in. They live in Fairfax, and they have a few $1 million with a big box firm, and these were their concerns. Mm-hmm. One of the specific ones was help and guidance around when to take Social Security. Mm-hmm. So as long as we have your birth dates and all of your financial information, we put your birth dates into our Social Security Action Plan software, and it gives us ideas as to when you should take Social Security. We factor that into all of the other information that we have for you. Are you still working? Are you fully retired? Do you need Social Security or do you not? Do you have resources like cash in the bank that we can maybe use for a few years to draw down on before taking Social Security? Is there a big age difference between spouses? And a lot of times that'll lead us to typically deferring the husband's benefit if the husband is larger to maybe as long as we can to help with a survivor benefit. Tons of things to consider. Your health. What does your health look like? If you have, kidney failure or something in your 60s or a bad bout of cancer, you're probably going to want to think about taking that benefit instead of deferring it because maybe your life expectancy isn't as long. This couple came into the office from the show and they had all these questions, including Social Security questions. So if you're listening right now and you sound like this couple or anybody we talk about on our show, and you specifically need help and guidance around when to take Social Security, we'd like to offer you that same Social Security Action Plan to help you determine when it is best for you to take Social Security. That's our Social Security Maximization Report. If you're listening right now and you're 55 years or older, you've saved $500,000 or more for your retirement, go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same conversations with you as well.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Investment advisory services offered through Abish Financial Wealth Management, LLC, number 310633, a registered investment advisor firm. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish, Inc., Virginia license number 131017.